but
we'll make it work.
We'll make it work, because we can either put like music or something in it.
Is this working? Want to just tape it on there to make your life easier?
Yeah, I guess so.
Coda. Work smarter, not harder. That's what they tell you.
Good idea.
That's what they tell you when their name is Jeff Bezos and they suck. How are you gonna hit play?
It's already playing.
Okay, you good?
Yeah. All right, boys.
So that's on recording. My spiel about Bezos.
Yep.
No go, brother.
No. Okay, perfect. Let me go. Send it.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, rolling. Perfect. Fit good. Just a little filter. Okay, we're in there. Of course, we start a jackhammer right when we get going there. Check, check. 2, 1, 2. How's it sound? Check, check, check.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna rolling in 3, 2, 1. Rolling in 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody. My name's Coda and this is Nick Schippers.
Nick Schippers.
We're here today at Parley AIR Station and we're going to talk to you about ocean uprise and the importance of youth action. Is that all we're going to talk about, Nick?
No, that's not at all. That's not all at all. That's right. So we're here with Coda. Coda is actually one of our Ocean Uprise interns, our past Ocean Uprise interns, and one of the leading youth activists here in Hawaii. And we're coming at you guys today live from the Parley AIR Station. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that is. But yeah, my name is Nick. Coda here has kindly asked me to be on this podcast with him and the Ocean Uprise team. Hopefully there's some more of these podcasts coming your guys' way soon. But today we're going to kind of dive into the issue of youth action. And Coda and I are both going to share sort of our experience with youth activism and ways that youth are sort of taking action and getting involved in different environmental issues and in particular ocean issues. So yeah, we can kind of dive into some things here. But Coda, I would love to hear just more about your story and we can kind of start with that. I know this is a bit of a switch up from the original plan we had going into this, but can we hear more about sort of A, how you got involved in Ocean Uprise and in ocean activism in general, and then B, sort of what's your story? Why do you care about this stuff to begin with, and why are you here, helping out and working and getting your hands dirty with these kinds of issues?
Right on. I think those are some amazing questions because as a youth myself, I really realized like pretty early that, to thrive and to be somebody that you want to be, you gotta have like a purpose. For me, it was kind of hard to find it. Like growing up was like not the best situation. I had some problems with my family and some problems with school, but once I found my purpose and trying to take care of the environment, it kind of started as something like I just wanted to be bigger than myself. I wanted to do something that was bigger than myself, and I basically just started looking up YouTube videos and figured out how big of a problem climate change was really, and how long we've been avoiding it as a global collective. And I found a lot of motivation, and I really started building my passion for the environment and for the ocean through just mostly just like the news and the education and getting myself aware about the topic.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. So like as you became more and more aware about the topic, what was really the motivator for you to act as opposed to just sit there and kind of take that one on the head?
Well, really, I really decided that I didn't want to be a part of the problem anymore. And in this world, right, like it's polarity, there's good and bad, or negative and positive. So if you're not a part of the solution, then you're actively a part of the problem. And with my mindset, like I knew I had to start taking action where I could as soon as possible. I did that personally by going into my high school and figuring out how to start a club, because I figured that the best way in my power to make a difference was through my community. So that's the first step that I took.
Yeah.
How about you, Nick?
Yeah, right on. No, I think that's great stuff. For me, and I have another question, a follow-up question for you on that one in a minute here, but I think for me, getting involved with the environment and with ocean issues in particular, it was always just something that was almost second nature. We grew up, my family and I, and my brothers and I, we grew up in a pretty remote, small town that was surrounded by the natural environment. And so we spent a lot of time as youth, and we're very fortunate to spend a lot of time as youth in the outdoors. Whether that was hiking or running or mountain biking or just playing basketball in the backyard. We spent tons and tons of time outside, and I think this fostered a deep, deep connection for me to the natural world. And then as I became older and kind of went through high school, I started to see a little bit more of the issues that we were facing. I started to hear about things like climate change. I started to understand the bigger picture of what was going on out there. And as I was able to accrue more and more knowledge and understanding of the different issues that face the environment, I just became more and more fired up to want to change it. Because for me, that was such a place that was near and dear to my heart. It was a place I went outside to find solace and to find peace and to play, and really just kind of have a mental reset. And I knew that if I didn't have that space in my life, I didn't know where else I would turn to try and find that kind of peace and quiet, right? And so I love that as we say that, we got some noise going on in the background. It's just great timing. Outdoor podcast, if you ever try it, check 212. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for connecting with nature at a young age. And if you haven't had the chance to immerse yourself in the natural world or to get outside and spend time outside, the more that you're able to do so, the more you will be able to see with greater clarity not only the issues that face the natural world, but a lot of the solutions that are out there. And when you can see kind of both ends to the spectrum, it becomes a bit of a no-brainer to be like, okay, well, why aren't we putting two and two together and starting to take action on this? I could go on and on.
That's
about
amazing,
surfing,
man. Like, it's crazy that, like, the environment you're around and the people you're around when you're a kid really influences, like, your motivations and where you want to create change. And I feel like that's a really critical thing that a lot of people just look over sometimes.
Yeah, and I have a follow-up question. I think that would be really good, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, Ash. But for youth out there, like, for instance, I'm very fortunate to have grown up, in a small town, and I wouldn't say we were by any means a wealthy town, but I did have access to semi-quality education. But going through, I was able to find this information and learn about this stuff because I was motivated to do it, but I also had the ability to access that kind of information. And so earlier you mentioned, like, if you're not part of the solution, you might be part of the problem. But what about for the youth out there that might be part of the problem, but they don't even know they're part of the problem? And in that instance, maybe they're not necessarily part of the problem, but they just don't have the tools or the access or the resources to be able to understand truly the scale and the problem at hand. And so they don't necessarily know that they can be part of the solution to begin with.
Right.
What do you think for those kinds of kids? Are they truly part of the problem, or are there ways that you would recommend them kind of reaching out and understanding more about the natural world and ways they can get involved with protecting it?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because if somebody isn't given the tools necessary to fix the problem, then they automatically remain part of the problem, but they could still have, like, you know, the intention to fix the problem. So I wouldn't say that they're part of, like, the problem that we're trying to, I mean, they're part of the problem we're trying to solve, but they're not a part of the problem that they can't fix themselves, you know? Like, that's what we're really trying to stress here at Ocean Uprise. The whole part of it is to give kids and give youth, teens, young adults the opportunity to help out and make a difference for themselves and for the environment, most importantly. Just like how I started a club at my school because I took the initiative. Like, if you're not like me and you're not really, like, social and you don't really want to start a club or something, then the best thing you can do is, you know, find that community or find that group of people that's going to push you and drive you to where you're trying to go and what you're trying to achieve. So my first step to get into, like, environmental work was, you know, making that club, but that club led me to going to different beach cleanups and different events, and through these events, that's where I met my buddy Bodie, who's actually the youth team leader for Ocean Uprise. And it's crazy because we got some crazy stuff going on, like some ambulances and stuff going on. It's crazy because Ocean Uprise started maybe like a year and a half ago, and we started from nothing, and now we have this big base of, like, how many kids we got nowadays?
There's a lot, so it depends how you measure it, right? But generally speaking, you know, we've had well over a couple hundred kids that have been deeply engaged with Ocean Uprise, and our reach and audience beyond that is you know, almost in the tens of thousands at this point. But yeah, really what it is it's a chance for youth to be able to plug into a network of like-minded youth, right? And I think this speaks back to the point I brought up and kind of where you were leading it here, which is for the kids out there that don't have access to this type of information. In this day and age, we have social media, we have all these tools at our disposal to be able to plug in and learn more. And so how are we using those tools to create a youth platform that is open, has an open door to call people into the movement rather than to call them out, right? And say, you know what, yeah, there's all these problems out here. Here's a chance for you to come learn more about these issues that we face, and not only learn more, but here's some ways that we can start getting engaged on a community level and larger, and start actually taking action on these issues, right? And Coda over here is a great example of someone that came into Ocean Uprise with, you know, some really good knowledge and a lot of passion, but throughout his work with Ocean Uprise has really taken off, and then not only has he started his high school environmental club, but then went on to give a speech here at the air station about the importance of ocean health and how that kind of links to human health. And then also is now working through his undergraduate degree at the University of Hawaii on some really cool stuff, and that's the kind of change we want to see. We want to see youth be able to come to an organization like Ocean Uprise and leave that organization feeling like, hey, I have this network, this community that I can bounce ideas off of, that I can go to when I want to learn more, and kind of grow from that.
Yeah, I feel that, like, you know, it's all about growth, because once you stop growing, that's it, you just plateau. But I mean, I got a question for you, Nick. Like, why is it so important that Ocean Uprise specifically targets youth? You know, like, if we got all these adults working on stuff, and like they're supposed to make it right, like, you know, why is youth action so important?
Yeah, youth voices and youth action. It sounds terrible, and I would say there's a bit of naivety. Like, youth aren't entirely naive, but they don't see the problem the same way that adults see it. And for a long time, the way we've approached problems is that if you don't have the full comprehension or the full understanding of the issue, you can't or shouldn't be at the table as an agent for change on that issue. And youth voices are one of the most underrepresented voices out there right now, right? Like, we don't see a lot of youth in politics. We don't see a lot of youth that are able to push for change that we desperately need in this time. And so a platform for youth is incredibly important, because what youth have that no one else has is sort of a byproduct of that naivety, which is a reason and a belief system where they can stand up and say, you know what, here's the problems. What are we doing? Why are we taking so long to fix this? Why is it so hard to fix this? Quit pushing the puck around and kicking the can down the road. Like, let's get to work and do it. Right. And they're not afraid to stand up and say that, because they don't have all these other kind of thoughts and notions and understandings in their head bouncing around telling them like, oh, it's hard, or it's not something that we can do, right? And so in having that sort of refreshing and clear understanding of what the problems are and the potential solutions out there, there's so much energy and so much creativity in that is untapped, and we really need to begin working with that to push change quicker. We're running on borrowed time right now with environmental issues. We've known this for a long time, and it's really going to be youth that help us get this over the hump. And I don't think that it's fair to say like, hey, it's only youth, because again, like, we don't want to kick the can down the road any further and say, oh, the next generation can deal with this. But it's going to take youth working with adults, working with elderly, working with all different types of generations, to make this happen in a way that's actually going to move forward.
We're all in this together. We only got one world, one continuous big ocean that we all gotta take care of, you know? Like, my biggest motivation, I guess, for being in Ocean Uprise and trying to stick with this movement is that, you know, like, my kids are gonna have to grow up in this world that is clearly not sustainable, you know? Like the food that we eat and like the nourishment that we seek in this world is all polluted. It's all, everything here has toxic chemicals in it, you know? And we as a society created these materials just to make cash instantly, or not instantly, but, you know, like, fast, right? But the thing is, like, we obviously achieved that goal, but it came with sacrifices, and the sacrifice it came with was, you know, our health, which is a completely, like, you know, that's like the basis of life. That's like the most important thing. And I don't want to pass down like a used up t-shirt. I'm not getting metaphors right now, but like, I don't want to pass out like the shortest stick to like the next generation, you know, like to my kids, to my friends' kids, to like the people that are trying to grow up and succeed and, you know, like, live in harmony with nature and the world. Like, we need to give the future hope, you know? We need to give the future a reason to keep thriving and to keep growing. And not only that, I want them to look back at us and realize that we had a problem that the older generation gave to us, but we were strong enough and we were like disciplined enough to fix it or overcome it, you know? Like, it's all about overcoming challenges. I think that's a big reason why Ocean Uprise is super significant to me.
Yeah. No, it's great. You know, youth activist platform by youth for youth. And it's really ocean specific, but it doesn't end there by any means. The oceans are so important for the way that we live our lives. And without them, we wouldn't be doing so well. So it really is a chance for people to engage, and I think, you know, youth like Coda standing up is just the start, and the more that we can get involved, the better. And yeah, want to leave it there.
Alright guys, stay tuned for the next Ocean Uprise episode, and be sure to check out the Instagram and the website.
Yeah. We'll see you guys soon. Aloha.
And cuts. Let's
That
go.
was sick. Do you want to redo the intro a little bit and cut that in maybe?
Yeah, I
You
can.
want me to do like a proper intro, or do you want to do one?
Yeah, you should do a proper intro. Let's look back and see where we can. I'm gonna save this whole stem, and I'm gonna put it over, cause I'll tweak it out like tonight. But
Yeah.
depending on how good the quality of the stuff was, like it could be terrible, it could be decent. I don't know yet. I mean, yeah, we need more energy. We need more energy in the intro, because that's gonna.
Okay, let me do an intro
Yeah.
bit,
Got you.
and
But
I'll
that
just
sounds pretty good, though.
introduce you and myself, and then if you can cut them together, that'd be huge. Okay, you good? Heard them? You just need audio. We're on the video still too. Here we go. Cut.
And it's not in the mic. And now we are recording the introduction. Yeah, okay.
Good. 3, 2, 1. For the hammer. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the Ocean Uprise podcast. My name is Nick Schippers. I am the Ocean Uprise manager, and today I am co-hosting this Ocean Uprise Okay, 3, 2, 1. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the Ocean Uprise podcast. Ocean Uprise is Parley's youth activist network, a platform by youth for youth to take action for the oceans. Today, we are coming at you live from the Parley Air Station. The Parley Air Station is a community center, a collaborative community hub, rather, for individuals from around the surrounding community to get together, learn about the oceans, and understand how they can take action on different ocean issues. The Parley Air Station we're coming live to you guys from is located at Bishop Museum in Honolulu, Hawaii. And yeah, it's awesome stuff. My name is Nick Schippers. I'm the Ocean Uprise manager. And today I'm sitting down with Coda. Coda is a former Ocean Uprise intern. He's a legend of a youth activist. And we will be co-hosting this podcast and kind of bouncing some ideas off of one another about what youth activism truly means and what it looks like for future generations. Psyched for this one, and let's get to it.
Let's get it. Yeah. Okay, bet. Okay. This is good, bro.
Is that a good intro?
Yeah, that was good. I was hyped.
Okay. Cut the cameras.
Okay.
Got it.
Shoot! And that was only like 20 minutes? Bro, instant.